Thank you all for being here today. My name is Shayle. I am Bill's oldest daughter. My mom, little sister, husband, and brother-in-law are so thankful for the love and support that has been shown here today and in the days leading up to. For most of you here, you know him by 14J4 or Sergeant Bill Hooser or Cop Bill. A smaller group of you know him by Billy, but for a select few, we call him Dad. And that is how I will reference him throughout this speech. My dad will be remembered as a police officer who lost his life in the line of duty. By its very definition, he was a hero to the last. My dad made the ultimate sacrifice on May 5th, 2024, protecting and serving the community that he loved so dearly. While I believe he was a hero for the job he chose and loved to do, he was a hero to me in many different ways. My dad was born on December 18th, 1973, to Dayton and Bonnie Hooser, who lived in Cleburne, Texas at the time of his birth. He was the second of 7 children. In 1984, his family relocated to Utah. In 1992, he met my mom, Kinda. The start of their love story is truly a testament to the love they continued to share throughout the rest of my dad's life. My dad met my mom when she was 14 years old, and he was just a little bit older. If you're good at math, you did that calculation in your head. However, my mom lied to my dad about her age. My dad found out the truth when my mom's sisters invited him to her birthday party with my mom unaware. When my dad would tell this story, he said that as the group started to sing "Happy Birthday," he started to count the candles on the cake and wondered why they were only 15. And then it hit him. That tiny detail could not stop them from falling deeply in love, and I am personally thankful that it didn't. My parents were married about 2 years later on September 14th, 1995. Together they made a beautiful life. They rarely did anything apart. She was his world and he hers. I look up to their marriage in so many ways. My parents were truly best friends, soulmates, and teammates. My dad's first real job was framing. He started framing when he was just 18 years old. Although he did not stay in the profession, he never stopped framing basements, detached garages, building decks, and more. He also built furniture pieces to rival master craftsmen. If he heard about a project, he was there, tool belt on, ready to take the lead. For those that know him well, he was always a better leader than a follower. His thoughts, ideas, and personality were too big to just sit back and go with the flow. In 1997, I was born, and in 1999, my little sister, Courtney, was born. My dad loved being a girl dad. He attended every dance recital, went to help pick out dresses for school dances, attended every cheerleading function. He even learned the cheers to help with crowd involvement, and attended every gymnastics practice. He loved to tease us any chance he could, and he was always trying to make us laugh. How I wish I could hear his laugh one more time. Never could I have asked for a better man to be my dad while growing up. Once my sister and I found our significant others, Jake and Carson, my dad welcomed them into our family with open arms and loved them as his own. He always said, because I had girls, I had to wait a little longer to get my boys. I was married to Jake in 2017, and my sister and Carson are set to be married in September this year. Although he won't physically be present to give my sister away, I know that he already gave her away when he said yes to Carson, when he asked for my sister's hand in marriage. In 2012, while living in New Mexico, my dad began volunteering as a reserve deputy for the San Juan County Sheriff's Department. While volunteering, his passion for law enforcement grew into a need to change careers, and he became a full-time deputy with the San Juan County Sheriff's Office. In 2017, my mom, dad, and sister moved back to Utah, and my dad began his career with the Santaquin Police Department. Shortly after, in 2020, my husband and I moved to Utah, and my husband began his career in law enforcement. My dad was a big influence in Jake's decision to become a police officer. My dad loved being in law enforcement and truly loved the Santaquin police officers with his whole heart. Being in law enforcement set his soul on fire. Most people that got to know Cop Bill can attest to the passion he had for his career. Outside of his career, however, my dad loved to be busy. He and my mom were always working on a project, going on a trip, or hanging out with friends and family. He enjoyed camping and taking his side-by-side out to the mountains or to the sand dunes. My dad rediscovered a love of golf within the last couple of years. There's a pretty good story that his son-in-laws get to hold dear to their heart about him on Father's Day shooting an eagle on the last hole. Bragging about that day to us girls in front of his son-in-laws was a highlight for him. He was a collector of whiskey. He and Jake were in a competition as to who could find the most rare bottles. He played the piano. He could play just about anything that he wanted. He loved to teach and offer advice. Even if you didn't necessarily ask for it, he'd give it to you anyways. Country music was his favorite genre of music, though he made it a mission to know as many songs as he could, no matter the genre, to keep up with my little sister, Courtney. My dad was competitive. If he could turn it into a competition, he would. Most recently, in 2023, his first grandbaby, my daughter Paxton, was born. I saw a side of my dad that I had never seen before. She was the highlight of his life. Any chance my dad could, he would go out of his way to see Paxton. He was passionate about her wearing socks, didn't ever agree with our pediatrician, and hated her wearing a hair bow. As soon as he walked in the room, he was the first to take her away from the person currently holding her. My mom and sister would always joke that they had to hurry and hold Paxton before my dad showed up. I always said that I thought he loved her just a little more than he loved me, and I don't think he ever disagreed with me. Regardless, I know that he was so proud of the mom I have become, and the dad my husband is to her. Not too long ago, I saw a quote and wrote it down on my bathroom mirror. The quote goes as follows: "How you live your days translates to how you lived your life." My dad lived his days being surrounded by people he loved, doing what he loved, and never having a single regret. He lived his days creating moments that have now translated to memories for all the people whose lives he touched. May we all strive to live our days a little more like my dad. Thank you.